Right now, as you're watching this video, I want you to look around your room. Really look at it. Are you actually seeing what's there, or are you just remembering what you think is there? Here's something that might surprise you. Most of us don't actually see reality. We see our memories of reality. And this one habit is affecting almost everything in your life. Your relationships, your ability to learn, even your emotional responses to everyday situations. Welcome back to Self-Love First. My name is Alicia, and in this video, I am going to show you how your brain has been running on autopilot, and more importantly, how to break free from this pattern so that you can truly experience life as it is. So there's the memory filter. Let me explain what I mean by seeing through memory. Imagine you're walking through a park and you see a green flower. Your eyes are pointing at that flower, right? But here's what's actually happening in your brain. Your brain immediately starts to compare. Oh, this green flower looks similar to that white flower I saw 5 years ago. And that white flower gave me allergies. So I should probably avoid this one. You're not actually looking at the green flower anymore. You're looking at a memory and projecting it onto what's in front of you. Think about the last time you looked at a beautiful landscape or mountain view. You probably said something like, "Wow, this is beautiful." Or, "This reminds me of that trip that we took." The moment you did that, you stopped seeing the actual landscape. You're now seeing a concept of beauty, or you are reliving a memory. You weren't present anymore. Studies suggest that about 95% of our daily activity happens in this automatic, memory-based mode. Only about 5% of the time are we seeing things fresh, and that's when real learning and insights can happen. This happens because objects trigger automated memories. It's your brain's association process working at full force. You see a flower, and instantly your brain pulls up every flower-related memory you have. Good, bad, allergies, beauty, gardens your grandmother had. All of this floods in before you can even consciously process what you're actually looking at. Now, you might be thinking, so what? What's the big deal if I'm remembering things? Well, here's why this matters. The entire scientific method was actually created to overcome this exact human tendency. Scientists realized centuries ago that humans have a major problem. We see what we expect to see, not what is actually there. We look at things through our preferences and past experiences. That's why we have peer review. That's why experiments need to be replicated by different researchers. The scientific community had to build these safeguards because they recognized that individual humans can't be trusted to see objectively. We're too busy filtering everything through our memories and our biases. Think about this in your own life. Have you ever been convinced that you were right about something, only to find out later you completely misread the situation? That's this process in action. You weren't seeing the situation as it was. You were seeing it through your own filter of past experiences. So there's automated behavior versus willpower. So let's talk about the two ends of the spectrum here. Automated behavior versus conscious choice. On one end, we have automated behavior, no willpower required. This is where most of us live most of the time. Looking at an object, instantly judging it, labeling it, connecting it to a past experience. And this is a skill that we've built over our entire lives. It's effortless. It happens automatically. You walk into a room and immediately think boring, comfortable, messy, familiar, all without any conscious effort. Your brain is incredibly skilled at this rapid-fire judgment and association game. But here's the issue. When we operate this way, we're not really learning anything new. We're just confirming what we already believe. We're running the same mental programs over and over, which means that we keep getting the same results. On the other end of the spectrum is conscious choice, and this does require willpower. This is when you deliberately look at something from multiple perspectives, when you observe without judgment or expectation, when you see things as they are rather than as you remember them to be. This is actually a skill that needs to be developed. It takes practice and intention, but this is where real power lies. The ability to look at your client or your partner, your situation, without any preset expectations. That is when you're truly empowered. So then there's the viewpoint trap. Let me show you how stuck viewpoints limit your reality. Imagine a rose bush. Different people looking at the exact same rose bush will see completely different things. One person could say, "That's dangerous. Thorns everywhere. Stay away." And then another person thinks, "That's beautiful. Look at all those colors." And then someone else might say, "That's too difficult to grow. So much maintenance." Another might say, "That smells amazing. I love roses." Each viewpoint gives you access to different information. Each one motivates different behavior. And here's the critical part. If you're stuck in just one viewpoint, you only see a fraction of reality. You only have access to a fraction of the available information. These strict viewpoints usually come from one or two places. First, from traumatic or highly emotional experiences. Maybe as a kid, you were running near rose bushes and one of your parents screamed at you, "Get away from those. They're dangerous." Well, that emotional charge locked in a viewpoint. Now, 20 years later, you still might see rose bushes as dangerous, even though that's only one small aspect of what they really are. Or they come from indoctrination, beliefs we've accepted from others without questioning. Someone told you something, you accepted it to fit in or avoid conflict, and now it's your automatic filter for seeing that thing. The problem isn't that dangerous is wrong. Rose bushes do have thorns. The problem is when that's the only way you can see them, when you're locked into just one perspective and can't access the others. That's when you become inflexible and unable to adapt to new situations. So then there's the painter's perspective. So what's the solution? How do we break free from these rigid viewpoints? Look at things like a painter. When a skilled painter looks at a rose, they're not thinking beautiful or dangerous or smells good. They're observing. Where's the light? Where are the shadows? What colors are actually present? What's the texture? How do the petals curve? No judgments, just what is here and now. They're seeing the rose as it is, not as their memories tell them that it should be. You can practice this right now. Look at something near you, anything, a cup, a plant, your hand, Try to look at it as if you've never seen this type of object before. And then, what are you actually seeing? What details are present that you might normally skip over? When you do this, something interesting happens. You start noticing things that you've never seen before, even in objects that you look at every single day. Then there's people as objects. Now, this gets really powerful when we apply this to people. When all is said and done, a person is a person. They're not great or horrible. They're not just like me or completely different. Those are all judgments, filters we're putting on. When you can look at someone without immediately overlaying your memories, judgments, and expectations onto them, that's when real empathy becomes possible. That's when genuine connection happens. You're seeing them, not your projection of them. If you're a coach, a therapist, or any kind of practitioner, this is crucial. The less judgment and expectation you bring to your clients, the more clearly you can see what they actually need. You're not solving a problem that you think they have based on your past experiences. You're responding to what's actually present in that present moment. So, breaking the pattern, right? What keeps us stuck in these patterns? One of the biggest perpetrators is the phrase, "I already know." I already know my house. I've been here a million times. I already know what my partner is going to say. I already know how this situation will turn out. When you say, "I already know," curiosity dies. Learning stops. You're no longer looking at the actual object or person. You're operating from a mental replica your memories have created. Now, this ability to create mental replicas is actually useful. It lets you navigate your house in the dark. It helps you respond quickly in familiar situations. But the downside is that you're not learning anything new. You're just running old programs. The antidote to this is to slow down. Act as if you're seeing things for the first time. Walk into your own home and pretend you've never been in a house before. What is this structure? What is the purpose of these objects? What details do you notice when you drop all of your labels? Here's a powerful exercise. Imagine you just arrived on Earth and you don't know any words yet. You can't label things as chair, table, beautiful, or ugly. You can only observe what's actually there. What do you notice that you've been missing for years? Let's bring this all together. Here's what we've covered. Most of us see through memory rather than seeing reality directly in the present moment. This automatic process affects 95% of our daily experience. It keeps us stuck in repetitive patterns and limits our ability to learn and to adapt. But you can break free from this by recognizing when you're filtering reality through your past experiences, practicing observation without judgment, like a painter, deliberately shifting perspectives to access different information, catching yourself when you say, "I already know," and choosing curiosity instead, and slowing down and seeing things as if it was for the first time. When you start seeing things as they actually are, without the constant overlay of memory and judgment, something beautiful happens then. You become more flexible, more adaptable, more present. You start finding beauty and insight in places that you've looked at thousands of times before. So here's your challenge. For the next 24 hours, practice looking at one familiar thing in your life as if you've never seen it before. Maybe it's your morning coffee cup. Maybe it's the view from your window. Maybe it's the face of someone that you love. Drop the labels, drop the memories, and just observe what is actually there. I'd love to hear what you discover, so share your experience in the comments below. And if this video changed how you see perception and reality, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on personal development and expanding your awareness. And if you want to go deeper into this work, learn more about manifestation, or trying a one-on-one map session with me, check out the links in the description below. Thanks for watching, and remember, reality is always richer than our memories of it. You just have to choose to see it for what it is. And until next time, as always, self-love first, always. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful day. I will talk to you soon. Take care.